Oh, hello. Welcome back to another edition of the Pinball Party Podcast. This is Jason, your host of the show, and today we're going to talk about some pinball.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
America's game. Well, sorry to all those not in America, but, you know, the elections, the craziness that's going on over here, old men dropping out, people losing their ears, female president for the first time ever. Hopefully, honestly, that's what I'm hoping for. So, you know, per usual, let's get into some religious talk, some political talk. Let's do all the woke things we can to really amp this thing up. Pinball Expo. October. Man, it can't come soon enough. I'm very excited for something that it seems like pinball just needs a good shot in the, shot in the ass, shot in the arm, if you want to go that route. I don't know. It needs a boost. I love this hobby, both from most of the community to the games, to the ingenuity, to the creativity, to the audio. Sometimes fixing games, you know, there's a lot of things to love about it. But what I don't love is these lulls in the summer of a lot of us, well, we're doing other things, enjoying the sun if you're in the Midwest, which a lot of us are because it's the epicenter of pinball, in my opinion. We're spending money on stupid shit like jet skis or boats or other things that cost way too much money, or cars, you know, as one does. And then winter comes along and we start going to the pinball realm. And October for Pinball Expo is kind of that good tipping point of like, all right, let's stop being wastoids and get back into the pinball world. And I'm really looking forward to Expo for multiple reasons. One, because I'll be going for the first time, so that's something. Two, and more important than anything, is just arm jolt of pinball from Stern, Jersey Jack, not American Pinball, apparently, maybe. Talk about news in a second. All these companies catching up with some old pals, you know, just talking pinball, seeing the electric bat folk, the flipping out folk, the straight down the middle folk, the triple drain folk, the loser kid folk, the Stern folk, the JJP folk, all the folk, and last but not least, the pinball games. Before we go into just a diatribe of random thoughts, let's talk about the news. Pulling up the old knapparcade.com. Yeah, well, so what's happened since the last time? I should say. We did a deep dive, Lord of the Rings. Go check that out. If you want to be a Patreon member, go check out patreon.com/pinballparty. I think if you were listening to a podcast, you know how Patreon works at this point. But if you'd like to hear a preview of what we do on those deep dives, which is awesome, Zach and I, check out the 5-6 minute clips we put on here to get a taste. If you want to join, and we go in depth about those games. But we did a deep dive of Lord of the Rings. It was my birthday, and the only reason I say that is because I'm centering myself on the news of where to start. I turned 42, so that sucks shit. I had a good time. If you want to hear about my birthday, you know, call me at 1-800-PINBALL-PARTY. We'll talk about my birthday, but whatever. Stuff happened. I didn't want to do anything, so I didn't do anything except for just kind of walk around and enjoy the day. So August 6th, looking back at the news, well, Dutch Pinball shared an exclusive little peek at Alice in Wonderland. I really want to see this game. There's been a couple peeks since last week, but man, Dutch Pinball, makers of Big Lebowski, which is, for all intensive purposes, one of the best pinball machines, I'd say, of all time. From, a theme standpoint, you just, whatever, it's up there in top tier. It's Big Lebowski, and that theme really just fits. A build quality standpoint, I haven't owned it, so forgive me those who have had things that have broken at home. I have not, but as far as like when you walk up, World Under Glass, Pat Lawler style, just like, man, this it's got a fucking rug, a bowling alley, the car, everything, dude. It's got the White Russian, which, you know, I don't drink anymore, but you know, more power to you if you do, or you know, whatever, especially during pinball. Goes well together. White Russians are tasty. But Dutch Pinball, from what they've shown, takes pinball very seriously. Not that others do not, but Dutch Pinball definitely brings its A game. So they shared a little glimpse of this. Is it a clock? Yeah, it's the clock. It's got a little DP on it. No, DP, no, all of you, it's not what we're talking about. Dutch pinball, not double pen, and it's got the spade, a diamond on it, cards from the playing cards. A little tease of the picture. Doesn't do much for me. That was August 5th. August 6th. Princess Bride and pinball, I haven't played it, and Multimorphic is Multimorphic. I would love to own a Multimorphic for free and play all the downloadable content games. All the actual modules don't appeal to me per se. If any was going to, it would be Princess Bride because it's a cool movie. But I've never played one. I've never owned one. I have no commentary aside from I like watching it from afar, but I've also never seen one on location. So what are we doing here? I'd love to know how they stay in business, because from people who I talk to, they think the games are great, and I'm not throwing any shade, as the young people say. To me, if I came into pinball now as a video gamer, or it's how a lot of us do, I'd see this and think, oh, this is where the future is. This is what everyone should be doing, but they're not on location. They're hard to sell and trade on the used market. The prices seem fair for what they are, but I've done this a lot. A lot of us have in especially the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. A lot of buying and selling and trading and going across the country and playing pinball. I've yet to meet anyone that owns one. I've never played one, and I've played everything I've wanted to play, really, except for this, and this as in Multimorphic in general. I can't really think of anything else that's eluded what I've wanted to play. I'll keep thinking about it, but I mean, John Wick, yeah, but it's new, things like that. Yeah, so another thing for Expo would really like to get my hands on, literally and figuratively, is some Multimorphic, and more specifically, the Princess Bride. Well, very specifically, Dungeon Defender, the downloadable game. It's like a roguelike. Yeah, that's what I'd like to play. Jason Knapp talking about some more predictions. The heavily rumored games. Guess what I'm about to say? X-Men, Metallica. If I was a betting man, from what I hear and from what I know, just bet on it for both. So sell your Metallicas as you've been doing. X-Men's, I think, are safe because it's not going to be the same game. It's old enough. It's kind of just another game. But will it be called X-Men 97 or will it be called the Uncanny X-Men? I don't think either one matters. If it's the Uncanny X-Men, awesome. If it's X-Men 97, okay, it's similar. I mean, the Uncanny X-Men is a different comic book run than, X-Men 97, which is just more of alluding to the animation series. But, to a comic book aficionado, they might think, oh, is this pinball machine based on the 97 Volume 1 run of X-Men from Marvel Comics? No, guy. So they could call it, I think, actually, I like the title Uncanny X-Men better, or the Astonishing X-Men. Yeah. But I think that theme-wise, it's strange. In the height of the last 10 years, kind of my purview, aside from earlier playing pinball, I don't have hobbyist living experience of early 2000s or 2010. 2016 and on is kind of when I've come into this obsessively, if you will. So when the market was super hot, even before COVID, it was not market, I should say, the hobby, just a lot, you could feel it in the ether, in the zeitgeist, the energy. A lot of people were doing, a lot of people were talking about it. I mean, now look at the podcasts. I mean, from the Pinball Network to myself to Canada or to all the big ones out there, they're just not, it's kind of just taking a little pause or a little break. So anyways, in the time, X-Men, when everything was hot, I think that was a great theme. And it's still a good theme. I mean, it's X-Men. People, jumping on the bandwagon of Wolverine, sure, etc. Wolverine and Deadpool. However, I think historically, X-Men is people that like X-Men are usually pretty character agnostic, I'd say, or some find favorites in Cyclops, Jean Grey, Professor X, Magneto. Magneto's actually probably pretty high up there. In fact, most Marvel comic people, including myself, when they're like, "Hey, what is the top villains of Marvel?" I'd say it's usually in from what I hear, and in my opinion, the top villains are usually touted as Doctor Doom, usually quite number one. Very close second, Magneto. He's kind of like an anti-hero sometimes as well. Doctor Doom, Magneto, Galactus, quite a bit, which I hope in the next Fantastic Four movie is Galactus, but not a cloud of smoke. Let's get the big purple guy out there eating some planets. So Magneto is a big selling point. Yes, Wolverine is. So much so, obviously, that when they did the last X-Men, there was X-Men Pro, Stern's X-Men Pro, and there was LE versions, limited editions, and who did they use? Oh, they used Wolverine, and they used Magneto. We'll see what the art really lends itself to this time, but again, I think the title is somewhat agnostic between X-Men 97 and Uncanny X-Men. Both will drive sales and drive hobbyists to the game equally as to each other. But Metallica, same story, different day. How much of a remake is it? Is it Spike 3? Probably. What does that mean with it? The cabinet redesign slightly. What does that mean? Well, probably a bigger screen, slightly different speakers. I would say that, the body of the machine would probably be pretty similar. But it really comes down to how much of a redesign will Metallica be. I mean, like messing with a game that a lot of people love, including myself and my significant other's favorite game. How much do you want to change from something that does so well? Or are you really riding on the theme, riding on the lightning, of that to really take an opportunity to bring Metallica into the stereo sound era, which is funny to say. The old Metallica game did not have stereo sound. Fucking crazy for that, which is what bothers me the most about that game. Because if it was just stereo sound, I'd be in. I would just own it. Well, I would have a Metallica Pro more often. I love bashing the snake. I love bashing Sparky. Please, if you don't touch a thing, let's say you just update it to Spike 3 and it's just, well, the art will probably be different. Tough word. Let us skip the animation for Sparky. It's awesome, but it's 2024, almost 2025. It's not like, wow, look at that. It is wow. It's awesome. Whoever designed that toy, I could look it up. It's not no disrespect. It's awesome. Yes, but still skip it. For example, when I start up my car, to go to the gym or the grocery store or whatever, I start up the car and if the maker of a car or engine, I mean, like the originators, everyone, Ford, you name it. I don't know who created the combustible engine. Sorry. Call in 1-800-Pinball Party and let me know, whatever. You could marvel for like 20 seconds at, wow, it's a combustible engine with gasoline and it's got 4 tires and look at these windshield, the glass, all the sound insulation. You start the car and you go. It's impressive as shit. Much more impressive than Sparky toy in a pinball machine. But you start the car and you go. Same thing in pinball. Like the first time you see it, the first couple, like, wow, you marvel at it. It's really awesome. Like, okay, if I want to watch it, I'll watch it. If I want to oogle at my car, I'll pet it, I'll clean it, I'll listen to the purr. What kind of exhaust does it have? How many cylinders? Has it got that, Subaru Boxer engine kind of rumble? Different size. Yeah, you get the point. Just please don't change a thing. Add stereo. Let us skip Sparky. The rules for what they are, chopping wood, I think they're fine. I like the game a lot. So yes, X-Men and Metallica will be coming. I hope that's what she said. I hope at Expo they are both there. X-Men will most definitely be there. Metallica, I hope so. I'm personally more excited. Well, I'm more excited for Metallica because it's a known quantity. X-Men could be trash, but if it's Jack Danger doing X-Men, his record is, let's say, cornerstone-wise, 100 out of 100 so far. Foo Fighters is incredible. So X-Men would probably follow suit. He doesn't seem to be a flash-in-the-pan type of guy. not that others are, but most of the good designers, Borg, Keith Elwin, Steve Ritchie, Pat Lawler, he seems to fit all the way up there already, in my opinion, because you got hired for his enthusiasm. He obviously spent plenty of time giving a shit about pinball, wanting the hobby to grow, wanting, to support it, to teach, all of it. Someone like that gives a shit. So put all that together in a recipe, and you're cooking a game. You got a lot of ingredients going well for it. I have not seen X-Men. I do not know if it's going to be a Borg layout 2.0. I think it'll just be fucking awesome and new. But yeah, Metallica, I'm more just like, okay, Spike 3, curious, awesome, it's Metallica. I've wanted a reason to play it again. X-Men, though, if it's another Foo Fighters, god damn, man. 2 for 2, 100 for 100, was that 200 for 200, just knocking it out of the park. Doubtful it'll be dog shit. That's the pinball party's quote on X-Men. Doubtful it'll be dog shit. Likely it'll be tits. But talking about X-Men and Metallica, there's also this third low-key rumor of King Kong. I've heard things. We've all heard things. Maybe not all of us. It fits, right, with Keith Elwin's things. Jurassic Park, Godzilla, Jaws, fantastical monsters in movies that have larger than life themes and sound and, gravitas. It fits. But is it soon? I mean, Jaws just came out. Nah. He has said that his other game was, when promoting and talking about Jaws, he did say, the next game has already all but done, basically. So, King Kong? I've heard it. There's the picture of Gary Stern, mimicking how King Kong has his arm outstretched above his head and his mouth open. He's probably trying to grab a bite to eat, at Burger King of something. And Gary Stern is standing below at a poster at a seminar, teasing, is it happening? I don't know. It fits. Let's just say that. But I don't think it's coming right now. I think Jaws, I'll talk about Jaws in a second. I mentioned earlier that American Pinball possibly not going to be at Expo. I mean, you'd think they'd want to, coming off their 1-2 bangers of GTF and Barbecue Challenge. I mean, they're really just killing it over there with their themes, and everyone loves those games. But Cuphead, that's what they essentially don't want to come out as Knapp Arcade says at knapparcade.com. American Pinball to push back debut of next game to avoid another release avalanche. Flashback to March of 2023. That month saw an absolute avalanche of new pinball machine reveals. The Texas Pinball Festival, also known as TPF, featured the first public appearances of Chicago gaming companies Pulp Fiction. Yeah, remember this? Remember when pinball was like this? As an aside, I very much remember this. Pulp Fiction, Foo Fighters, The Godfather, and then Queen, Scooby-Doo, and then GTF, Galactic Tank Force, kind of came out in there. I mean, as no fault of their own, aside from I don't like that game. The art's great. The music is, the game isn't. I played it a couple times and it's just not great. Galactic Tank Force. These others are better, I should say. Maybe not Scooby-Doo. Definitely not Scooby-Doo. I played that 3 days ago, and like midway through Ball 2, I just stopped playing and moved on. It's just kind of floaty and just it's like it's not engaging. It's like, it's Scooby-Doo. And the theme doesn't do anything for me. However, American Pinball trying to avoid being a small fish in a big pond, if you will, push back the game past Pinball Expo. Because if Pinball Expo lines up as a lot of us think, we will see, not all these things announced like San Diego Comic-Con style all at once, but if we look at what will probably happen, we'll see X-Men there, we'll see Metallica there, we'll see JJP's next game, Jersey Jack Pinball's next game, we'll see Alice in Wonderland, we might see a reveal or a talk about Back to the Future. And then if you toss in another like barbecue game by American Pinball, which it's probably not barbecue, it's, Cuphead. Cuphead has a way better chance than the last two. Cuphead alone on the art is just, it's a chef's kiss. The game, I'm an avid video game player like a lot of us. I was in video game, like deep in the hobby while it was getting announced. Like, look at this art. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be, yeah. And it came out. I wasn't a huge fan. The game, it just was a kind of a boss rush thing, not my cup of tea. Even though I love like Dark Souls and that stuff, just Cuphead wasn't it. However, the art still stands to be, known as one of the best, most original looking video game art packages of all time. So Cuphead on a pinball machine, no matter what, will have that going for it. So this game in an Avalanche stands a better chance than the rest. Using that metaphor, it stands a chance in Avalanche, right? It could stand up. The Avalanche, sorry. But rumor is they're pushing it back. Dutch Pinball shared another sneak peek of Alice in Wonderland pinball. This was just very, very recently. And it's a little queen card with this was a Canada Pinball podcast exclusive, looks like, as he says. And you see, man, you'd think I would know Alice in Wonderland's lore a little better. The background. Go online and Google this. Looks like a werewolf type creature in the back for having a white rabbit tattoo on the arm. I should, but it's more Matrix related than it is Alice in Wonderland. The point is, there is another photo out there, and it's very Labyrinth-esque, where like it just looks with the little street lamps on the little curved wooden rustic poles, tree branch poles. It looks just I just want to look at it. World Under Glass style. And anyone that's seen the concept art out there, which is readily available, it's going to be a looker. We'll see if it's another like 13, 15 grand game, but I don't know. At least with Dutch Pinball, from what they've had in the past, their price, all the prices are ridiculous. Let me say that first. Even $7,000 for a Stern Pro is fucking crazy. What are we doing? That's crazy. A premium price is fucking crazy. An LE price is, what are you doing? The market is, no one's going to buy these LEs anymore for that price except for a few of the whales, and I don't know. They just have too much money and what's going on. But the prices are ridiculous. Full stop. That being said, and fully admittedly, all the prices are way too much. It's where all the anxiety comes from buying and selling and all that, because they're like life-changing amounts of money. Beat that horse to death all the time. In the realm of where these prices make sense because we're doing this, Dutch Pinball's price that they ask is worth what their ask is worth it. The game is great. The theme is great. Probably costs a lot of money. They're built like a tank. They're very responsive, support, all that from my experience. Disclaimer, I have not owned one, but yeah. Jersey Jack, same thing. The thing that Jersey Jack doesn't really have lately, like build quality, check. Lighting, fucking checkity check. Audio, visual, like experience, check. Like the game is just worth $1 million. Well, in fact, it's worth 15,000, if you will. But the theme, fucking Elton John, Godfather. No, pass on both of them. Come out with a banger, and bring it to October's Expo. Expo is just stuffed with the next two Sterns, Alice in Wonderland, JJP's, Harry Potter, Matrix, Muppets, Avatar, whatever that may be. There is all these potential games to buy, which is another reason why I think the market right now, secondary market, buying, selling, again, not for profit, for playing and not losing a bunch, or like the value of your game drastically going down right now, is in anticipation for what's next. Not only is it what's next, it's like everything is coming out around the same time, and it's like a whole new generation, like Spike 3. Does that mean we're vaulting a bunch? Tron coming soon, Ghostbusters, all that. It's it's no longer like fear of missing out. We're like, oh, you got to get games. Like things will just be available. So there's more choices of what to do with our money, and games are kind of just sitting. And for someone like myself who still doesn't have any games, I'm just hesitant of getting back into it. Things keep dropping in value. I just want them to even out so we kind of know where we're at. I would really like to buy a couple of games right now just to have, and then sell them in a couple of weeks or a month, and just get my money's worth and move it on without losing my ass. And if I were to buy these games, do you know where I'd buy them? I'll tell you. I would buy them from a place that is honest, wonderful customer service, and yes, we're Flipping Out is a friend of the show. We're a friend of theirs. Yeah, but all you really got to do is look at the recent Haggis debacle. Go check out Carrie Hardy's videos on YouTube about Haggis. I mean, I don't want to talk about it because it's just, I shouldn't say I don't want to talk about it. We will, but right now it's fucking crazy. Go watch the Unboxing the Truth on Haggis Pinball Part 1 from Carrie Hardy. It's a great insight into what we all saw coming and what was kind of hidden, and just another one of those. Part 1, the customer experience. Go check that out. But one of the standouts of that is not Haggis, but it's Flipping Out Pinball. They, I don't want to take away from Carrie Hardy or what Flipping Out does, but it's just another dart on the dartboard of why would you go somewhere else when you could get the best price, the best customer service, beyond the best customer service, someone who would treat you like a human. Like, did you get slammed in the ass by a pinball company that was dishonest? Flipping Out kind of has insurance for that to a certain extent. I shouldn't say as a business, they might, but to you, the customer, if you spend money with them, you're going to get your money's worth. And if you don't get your money's worth, you'll get your money back. So that's not like some new slogan, but that's generally what you can think about when you work with Flipping Out. When you email them, you know what they're going to do? They're going to email you back and not treat you like an idiot like some of the other ones. If you send them a text, they'll send you a text back and not treat you like an idiot like some of the other ones. It's surprising, but some of the pinball distributors out there, like when you're spending upwards of $15,000 on a toy, you want to be talking with people that give you all the information you want, any sort of protection, support afterwards, and what do you want when you spend $15,000? Do you want someone who replies with you in all lowercase, no punctuation? Yeah, get it. It's in stock. What do you want? Surprisingly, that's what a lot of these pinball distributors do. So enough with the preamble. If you want one of these amazing games coming up, buy them from Flipping Out Pinball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When I buy my pinball shit, I buy from Flipping Out. From toppers, sharp blades, premiums, I've got it figured out. Flipping out, figured out. When I think of pinball, I think Flipping Out. Flipping out, figured out. When I buy from Flipping Out. Buy.
So call now. Zach, his wife, his friend, his uncle, his dad, his great-grandpa, 2 of his dogs, 4 cats, a couple gerbils, a fucking bastard-ass guinea pig,
Holy shit!
and a couple worms. We'll be there to help you at Flipping Out Pinball. New games, used games, they ship them all. One of the biggest distributors out there, our good friend and yours, Flipping Out Pinball. Buy the games there, and that's where I would like to buy, specifically, if the market was as expected. Jaws Premium, which is the last game I owned. Yes. Yes. And Foo Fighters Premium with expression lights, per usual. Because I played some Jaws the other day when I was playing Scooby-Doo. And I didn't go there to play Scooby-Doo. I played Scooby-Doo for under 2 minutes and moved on. But it had been a while, and I played Jaws. I owned Jaws Premium when it came out, and I was black and white on that game, hate and love, yin and yang. I started out by being like, not being like when I played it. Like, this game doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense in this game. And I stand by that to a certain extent. When I came back to play the Pro, my thoughts on that in a second, I haven't played it in a few months. And I consider myself somewhat intelligent. Not like superior, but like I know how to start a car, how to pay my bills. And I couldn't remember how to fucking play this game. And I owned it for a few weeks and obsessively played it. Because it's not intuitive. The spinner is somewhat intuitive. Like, oh, you reel a fish, right? Kind of? Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember how to play the game. My God. I had to come back home and Google it after someone who played the shit out of it for a while. So that stands the test of time in the not good way, I should say. But what stands the test of time are some of the shots in that game are very, very feel good, satisfying. The left orbit shot with the opto spinner, incredible. The center 180 ramp, if they call it, incredible. The wave ramp to the right, is that what it's called? The wave right? Nope. Is a wave ramp the upper playfield shot? I'm sorry. It's the very right hand shot, orbit / ramp. I can't remember what it's called, but the very right hand ramp, satisfying AF. What I noticed, the wave ramp is the upper playfield one, right? I think so. If it isn't, call 1-800-PINBALL PARTY, complain to my secretary or lawyers. Secretary is a male. His name is Meph.
Eat shit.
He'll be there to help you if you need anything. But let's call it the wave ramp, the one that feeds the upper playfield. I was playing the Pro on location. I owned a premium, setting the stage again. That shot feels, it's somehow better on the Pro than it does on the premium. It could be because you see it. It's something that's just, I don't know, secondarily subconscious. I don't know. Not a direct, it's not obvious of why it feels better is what I'm getting at. On the Pro, I don't know, like I always feel like I hit it better. It's the same spot. It's no different. But without the upper playfield, I don't know. Maybe I can somehow aim better because I see more of the actual geometry of the shot. So something in my head is lining that up better. I don't know. My brain might have more information, visual information provided. So when I am doing those like calculations or whatever you want to call them, my coordination calculations on the fly, like it just has more information to work with. Maybe I don't know. Like it has more depth of a shot to line up. Significantly easier. And that shot doesn't really have like variation of like, well, kind of ball guides, but there's not a lot to like change like on a game to game. The fin area, the oops all air balls area, that has a lot of variation and janky shit. But the wave ramp, it was more satisfying. And on the Pro, it's more consistent. Not hitting the shot, but the way that the shot feeds back to the upper flipper. So yeah, that is actually, I look forward to hitting that shot in the Pro, which is strange. And I personally don't find any difference in the Pro versus Premium in that shot's feeling, satisfaction, gameplay. Don't care. I take them both. So there's a knock against the Premium in a way where, yeah, you have to think more and it's not, I don't know, it's not as fun. But full stop, the Pro is the harder of the two games. Easily harder. Not because of that shot. Well, that shot in general, somehow for me, it's easier. So the calculation conversation aside, on the Premium, you have the little reel up there and you can qualify more. And there's another stand-up target up top. You can do more on the Premium once you get the ball up there. That is very true on the Premium. But on the Pro, so the drop targets on the Premium slow the game down for the fish finder. So on the Pro, they're stand-up targets, so there's more, just like Deadpool, there's more side-to-side motion, which makes the game faster and harder. That's what she said. The other thing that I think is the biggest difference, just like most games where I would prefer a Pro with just a tweak from the Premium. Same with Jaws. For like Jurassic Park, give me the Pro, just give me the Raptor Gate, and maybe the helicopter. No, I like that sound. Well, the sound is there, but I just want to see it move, so fuck you. Give me the Jurassic Park Pro with the gate and the fuck you copter spinner. Godzilla Pro, just give me nothing. I think I like the Pro better on Godzilla. Yeah. I mean, the Mechagodzilla area, it's just easier on the Pro, in my opinion. Give me the 3D sculpt. I'm not paying for this, but toss it in there. I'll take it. Godzilla. Jaws, talking Elwins here, I guess, specifically, the Pro versus Premium. Jaws, give me Jaws Pro, but change the shark to the Premium shark. Here's why. The Premium shark, especially when you're doing like the bounty on a shark, the Mako shark, which most people pick first. I'm not a tournament player, so don't, again, call in 1-800-Pinball Party to complain. I'm saying for me, I'll take the Mako sharks. It's the easiest, and I want to get those bounties, bitch. Doing the bounty multi-ball, what is it called when you finally, again, I owned it and I didn't own it, so I don't remember the rules, but when you finish collecting the bounty, you start the bounty multi-ball, you hit a shot, and then you bash the shark. You do that a few times to capture the shark. Yay, you win, you get the perks the rest of the game. Fucking awesome modes in that game. On the Pro, you have to hit the captive ball up to one of those 3 lights. I believe it's Optos back there, because you have to hit it pretty hard. That's what she said, to get it to qualify on the Pro every time. Yes, you do on the Premium, but on the Premium, that little friendly shark pops up. Hello. And he's a bash toy that you just have to graze him and it'll qualify the shot. So when you're flailing around hitting shots and you have to hit the center, you hit a shot and then you hit the center. You hit the shot and you hit the center. When you hit that shark in the Premium, every time it registers once the shark, your little friendly shark pops up. On the Pro, you have to hit that shot perfectly and hit the right light on some of the modes, and that is just not satisfying at all. The drop targets fish finder area, take it or leave it. Yes, I prefer drop targets. I do. But when we're talking about a $2,000 difference, or the Pro Plus, as I would like to say, I could keep the stand-up targets. Yes, I want the drop targets. Let me be very clear. I want the drop targets, but I can live without them. The wave ramp, I don't care. Pick one. But the shark, I don't like the bash on the Pro. You have to hit it perfectly, and then it has to hit the Opto. And even on the Premium, I remember there's times where you have to hit that shot before your little friendly shark pops up. And I don't like hitting the boat with the captive ball. It doesn't feel good. Unlike in a similar spot, a similar thing you have to do, hit the captive ball in Foo Fighters, that thing registers every time. And this isn't a knock against the game. It must intended to be like that, but the Pro to me is severely severely harder than the Premium. It's easier in the way that the wave ramp, as we're calling it this episode, always comes back to the upper right flipper. That is consistent, so somewhat easier. But I think between the stand-up targets, more back and forth fast motion, and especially that shark, because after playing it, I was like, yeah, I remember why I like this game so much. There's a lot of the shots are very fun. And the rules, when I learned some of them again, more than anything, collecting the bounty. God, that is the best. I love that. It's like the little bit of collectathons, but if you do get it, it's a permanent perk. Every game needs to have these permanent perks. Like in the best thing this is maybe just me and games, the best thing for me with Metallica is when you get the Sparky, Snake, the cross, what are those? Just cross, is that what it's called? So that game, for those who don't know, if you got to hit Snake a shitload of times, you got to hit the Coffin a shitload of times, you hit Sparky a shitload of times, and you do that by hitting those things a shitload of times. That's kind of how you progress without getting into the rules. However, what you can also do is each shot has all of those on the shot: the cross, the Snake, the what is it? The Coffin, the cross, the Snake, Sparky, and when you hit those, what I'm getting at is each of those shots you can also include the other shots. So if you hit Sparky and you hit, let's say, the left ramp, and then you hit the Snake, and then you hit the left ramp, and then you hit the cross shot, and then the left ramp, all those will be available. And if you hit the Coffin, it locks in that shot for the rest of the game. So for the rest of the game, drain as many times as you'd like. That left ramp now qualifies all those shots. I know it's, for those who don't know, we're kind of like, what the fuck? I probably didn't describe it the best. I'm just another example of a permanence in a game. Jurassic Park, you collect a dino, you get a perk the rest of the game. Jaws, when you collect a bounty on a shark, you get a perk the rest of the game. I heart permanent perks in pinball. Well, while we look forward to Pinball Expo, we look forward to permanent perks in games. Like, is there going to be a Bone Claw Wolverine, and then you get Adamantium, and the rest of the game's got Adamantium Claws? Speaking of another game of Venom's got a lot of permanent perks, but it's Venom, so let's move on. I will be at Expo. A lot of us will be at Expo. That should be a juicer in the pinball market. A juicer in the pinball hobby. A shot to the arm, a booster shot, a juicer shot. Call it what you want. I'm looking forward to it. About 2 months away. Get ready for that. In the meantime, look forward to Stern's next release, probably pretty soon. Keep your eyes open, your ears peeled. For those who want more Pinball Party content, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/pinballparty. For everyone else and those that continue to listen, thank you very much for joining the Pinball Party. Thank you for your continued listenership. Thank you for shopping at Flippin' Out Pinball. Thank you for Patreon subscribing or not. Just thank you for hanging out with me and all of us other pinheads, as they say, at the Pinball Party. Till next time, we'll see you later.